Yo, what's the word, boys? Welcome back. In today's video, we're going to be doing UFC pound for pound matchups. So what I mean by that is, if you take a look at the UFC pound for pound list, we're going to do matchups based on the rankings. So we're going to be doing 15 versus 14, 13 versus 12, 11 versus 10, and so on and so forth. Like, subscribe. If everybody that watched this video subscribed, I'd get to 2,000, so let's do that. I'm trying to, finish this before the fucking football games come on, so let's go. The first matchup of today, number 15 Charles Oliveira takes on the number 14 Sean Strickland. I think this is a terrible stylistic matchup for Sean Strickland. He likes to move forward. He likes using his forward pressure, jab, teep kick, but against Charles Oliveira, I don't think that's going to work. Sean Strickland isn't dangerous enough on the feet to really put Charles Oliveira in trouble, in my opinion. I think Charles Oliveira's forward pressure would give Strickland a lot of trouble. I know his takedown defense is good, but as the fight goes on, Charles Oliveira will find ways to win this fight. He will get Sean Strickland into some trouble. And I could also see Charles Oliveira hurting Sean Strickland on the feet. Strickland has that high, tight guard, so Charles Oliveira could feint, go for a level change. He's super slick, and I think Charles Oliveira would win this fight by submission. And this just popped into my head. Do you guys want me to make a video of, this in like a bracket format so we get more matchups and, a bunch of crazy shit going on? Let me know in the comments, but I believe Charles Oliveira's forward pressure, the ability to mix it up, is going to win him this fight. And maybe if Sean Strickland was a sniper on the feet, he could win this fight, but Strickland doesn't possess enough power and danger on the feet for me to be worried about Charles Oliveira, and that's my opinion. Sean Strickland isn't an elite counter striker like an Islam Makhachev. He does his best work on the front foot, and I just don't see that happening in this fight. So give me Charles Oliveira by submission. Let's go. Next up, interesting. Oh, man, they cooked Sean O'Malley. Ever since he lost that belt, they fucked up his picture, man. This is the most recent picture of O'Malley on the website. Damn, they cooked his ass, but we have number 13, Sean O'Malley, versus number 12, Alexandre Pantoja. Guys, I'm going to go with Sean O'Malley by KO. Now, pound for pound means if they're all the same size, who would win? But I'm still picking Sean O'Malley. I think this is somewhat of a tailor-made matchup for him, in a sense, because when I look at Alexandre Pantoja, right, I think of a guy who is very, very good, but there are openings and ways to beat him. For example, in the flyweight division, I think Kai Kara France beats Alexandre Pantoja because Alexandre Pantoja is very good, but on the feet, his striking defense is quite poor. Yes, he's able to get takedowns and he's able to control his opponents, but if you're a guy who has great takedown defense, who is dangerous in the pocket, a well-rounded striker, and an elite counter striker, I think you could beat Alexandre Pantoja, Now, the Merab fight against O'Malley did, cause, some concern going into this fantasy matchup. But I trust O'Malley to use his lateral movement to hold off Alexandre Pantoja and then eventually snipe him as he's entering the pocket. Very similarly to the Aljamain Sterling fight. But if Alexandre Pantoja can start to chain his wrestling together, holy shit, that was a really bad stutter, can start to just get the fight to the ground, I think he could win. But I trust O'Malley to find the opening on the feet. Pantoja is very, very tough, but he does get hit a lot. And Sean O'Malley is one of the best counter strikers in the UFC. So I'm going to pick Sean O'Malley by KO. Next matchup. Oh boy. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. We have number 11 ranked Max Holloway versus number 10 ranked Alexander Volkanovski. This is a very interesting matchup because we've never seen it before in real life. This would be one of the coolest matchups in UFC history. I really, really wish, we're able to see this in the future eventually. But give me Alexander Volkanovski. Stopping the bullshit real quick. I know Volkanovski is not in his prime, and I know Max Holloway, in my opinion, is probably in his prime right now, but styles make fights, and I don't fucking care how bad Volkanovski gets. If this dude's in a fucking wheelchair, I'm picking him to beat Max Holloway because Max Holloway has struggled very, very much in the past against Volkanovski, and mainly against that short, stocky build where he can't use his jab to the body to get his rhythm going. And if he can't do that, I just trust Volkanovski, even coming off of KO losses. I trust him to stick to the game plan and do what he's done in the past and beat Max Holloway by decision. Now, would I be surprised if Max Holloway wins this fight? Not necessarily. This would definitely be his best chance to beat Alexander Volkanovski, but as I said, I trust Volkanovski to keep it simple, stick to the game plan, do what he has done in the past for, 75 minutes? So give me Alexander Volkanovski by decision. Next up. Number 9 ranked Leon Edwards versus number 8 ranked Tom Aspinall. I'm going to keep a buck real quick. I'm not going to beat around the bush. Tom Aspinall absolutely destroys Leon Edwards, really bad. This is probably the worst stylistic matchup we have in this video, you could say. Leon Edwards has struggled in the past with straight punches, forward pressure. Tom Aspinall maybe has the best one too in the UFC. His forward pressure is insane. He can mix in the takedowns. We've seen Leon Edwards struggle with takedown defense. Tom Aspinall absolutely destroys Leon Edwards. And remember, it's a pound-for-pound fantasy matchup. They're the same weight class. I don't give a damn. Tom Aspinall absolutely runs through Leon. He uses his forward pressure. He feints. He does a lot of, head movement, body feints, blasts the 1-2, backs Leon up against the cage, and then he could shoot for a takedown if he wants. Tom can shoot for a takedown if he wants, or he could just blast the 1-2, knock out Leon. But in this fight, I'm going to go with Tom Aspinall by KO. Because I know it's pound for pound, but Tom Aspinall, pound for pound, still has some of the craziest power in the UFC. So I think he knocks out Leon Edwards. So give me Tom Aspinall by KO. Next up, very interesting. Probably the most interesting matchup we have for today. And it's number 7 ranked Merab Dvalishvili versus number 6 ranked Dricus Du Plessis. And guys, I'm not sure who wins this fight. I'm not sure how this fight even goes. Leave it in the comments. Who do you guys have winning this fight? Dricus Du Plessis or Merab Dvalishvili? I don't even know if I could give you guys an answer right now, because would Merab be able to take down Dricus? Does Dricus keep it at the center of the octagon? If I had to make a prediction, I think this could be somewhat, this makes no sense, but maybe similar to Merab versus Aldo, where Merab is kind of just holding him up against the cage and not landing takedowns. But Dricus' striking style, where he's attacking at weird angles, I feel like that's the best method to beat Merab Dvalishvili is, landing strikes at weird angles, throwing strikes from weird angles, just doing a bunch of weird shit from weird angles. So if I had to make a prediction, I'm going Dricus Du Plessis by KO, because pound for pound, he is still extremely strong. His grappling and wrestling is still very good. Don't be surprised if he, gets a wizard trip in this fight, or he does some weird throws where he's able to get Merab to the ground. But if I had to make a prediction, give me Dricus Du Plessis by KO, but that's a very weird matchup. And also, guys, leave your predictions for every one of these fights in the comment section down below. I'm very interested to see what you guys think. And also let me know if you guys want me to do that bracket where we have all these guys facing off. Let me know. So give me Dricus Du Plessis by KO. Very weird fight, though. Next up, number 5 ranked Belal Muhammad versus number 4 ranked Ilia Topuria. Guys, I'm going to go Ilia Topuria by knockout. I know Belal is very good. His striking defense improved a bunch against Leon Edwards, and his grappling gas tank is some of the best in the UFC, but I don't care. Ilia Topuria, hot take in my opinion, is the best fighter on the roster right now. I do think he is better than Islam Makhachev. Now, maybe Islam is a more well-rounded fighter, but if I needed one guy to go in there and beat everybody, I would pick Ilia Topuria Unlike Leon Edwards, Topuria would stand his ground and exchange in the pocket, and that's where I feel like he can crack Belal Muhammad. His defensive grappling and wrestling is much better than Leon, even his offensive grappling. So if he wants to even shoot a takedown on Belal, he can do that because his grappling and his wrestling is his base. If you look outside the UFC, before he came into the UFC, it's submission win after submission win after submission win. This dude has an elite grappling base, so I would pick him to knock out Belal Muhammad. I think he stands in the pocket when he needs to and exchanges. His ability to go from the body to the head in his boxing combinations are elite. His combinations are super, super tight. So yeah, I'm going to pick Ilia Topuria by KO in this fight. Belal is very good though, but he is just facing the best fighter on the roster, as I said, in my opinion. Next up, sheesh, hot take. It's pound for pound, so this helps my guy a little bit more, but I'm picking Alex Pereira by KO. I'm picking Alex Pereira to knock out Jon Jones. First of all, it is by far, and I mean by far, the best striker Jon Jones has ever faced in his UFC career. It is the biggest fighter he's faced in his UFC career, the most dangerous fighter he's faced in his UFC career, and this is right now. If this was prime Jon Jones, I pick him to submit Alex Pereira easily. I think, and I've said it multiple times, I think Jon Jones is the greatest fighter of all time, and in his prime, damn near unbeatable. Unfucking beatable in his prime. He is really a puzzle. He was an absolute puzzle to beat in his prime, and I don't think anybody could have done it, and I don't think anybody ever could have done it. You know what I mean? But it's 2024, and I think, I don't know, I mean, some people would agree with me, but I think Jon Jones is a lot more washed than a lot of people are thinking. Now, that's not a diss at Jon Jones. He's old. He's been in the game for a very long time. But you could even look at the Cyril Gane fight, man. He is so incredibly slow on the feet. I just can't pick him to take down Alex Pereira. He is so slow. I think Alex Pereira will just read everything. He'll stuff the takedowns, and I think he'll land. I think he'll land on Jon Jones. Now, maybe because that was Jon Jones' first fight at heavyweight, yada, 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 but this is pound for pound. I've said it like a zillion times. This is what I've seen so far. Jon Jones is incredibly slow at his new weight class. I don't think he'll be able to take down Alex Pereira. I don't think he'll be able to land on Alex Pereira. And in his more recent fights, his striking defense has looked worse. We've seen against Dominic Reyes, he's been clipped. Now, I know his chin is very good, but this is Alex Pereira power we're talking about. So, hot take, I don't give a damn. I don't give a fuck. Give me Alex Pereira by KO. Now, you guys are probably wondering, well, there's only number one left. There's only, Islam Makhachev left. Who is he going to fight? Well, I picked the best fighter for him to fight, in my opinion, the most intriguing matchup, and that is Ilia Topuria. This fight can happen in real life, so this is kind of why I chose it. I'm going to, kind of go away from the pound-for-pound matchup and talk about what the fuck would happen if this was real life and if Topuria went up to lightweight. Guys, a lot of hot takes in this video. Damn, I like it. I think Ilia Topuria beats him. I think Ilia Topuria knocks out Islam Makhachev. I'm coughing. I think Ilia beats him because what did Islam struggle with the most in his UFC career? A short, stocky build who can defend the grappling, who could do his own work in the grappling and wrestling department. And of course, I'm talking about Alexander Volkanovski. Now you have Ilia Topuria, who is short, stocky. I guess you could say he's hunched over a little bit with his boxing stance. And now you get a guy who has elite, and I mean elite defensive grappling. I think Islam Makhachev is in for some trouble in this fight. What happens when Ilia Topuria backs him up? Islam's an elite counter-striker, but what if he overextends? What if he is getting a little, I wouldn't say scared, but if Ilia Topuria starts to back him up against the cage and Islam's backs up against the cage, anybody in the UFC is in trouble because Ilia Topuria can either level change or get those boxing combinations going. I'm telling you guys, if we see this fight in real life, Topuria beats him. I'm telling you. We've seen Islam struggle with the short, stocky build. And I trust Ilia, more than I trust Volk in the grappling and the wrestling department, because he has a submission game unlike Volkanovski. Now, he might not be as strong as Volk, but on the feet, I think he's a lot more dangerous. I'm just saying, guys, I'll get into it if this fight ever comes around. I'll dive into this matchup more, but I've said it before. I think Ilia Topuria is the best fighter on the roster, and I think he knocks out Islam Makhachev. Let me know what you guys think of the matchups down below. Put your predictions for every matchup in the comment section down below. Like, subscribe, do all that bullshit. Follow all my socials. Links will be in the description. Like, subscribe, do all that. As I said, peace out.